Okay, welcome back. I don't know if this is going to work. It might do, it might not, but I'm going to try it anyway. I reckon this is on the screen there now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and go flying. I'm in Santa Barbara in the United States of America, in the little 172, and I've just thought to myself, well, I've got this new computer pretty much that Ben sort of fixed up for me. So I'm in this learner plane. This is a Cessna 172. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can get this to work, and hopefully we will. And we'll go for a little fly and see if it will keep up with flying live. Hope so. That seemed to work. Turn the avionics on. Beacon. You should be able to. There we go. Nav lights, strobe lights. That's all working. Trims in the takeoff position. That's the transponder there. We want 7000. I'm not sure what they do in America. I think it's 1200. I can't remember, but it's 7000 in the UK. Okay. Right. Got our airspeed indicator there. This is our attitude indicator, and this tells us how high we are. And this is our rev counter. This is our fuel gauge. So you can see that. So we've got half tanks, looking good. And this is our fuel selector. So we've got both tanks selected, that's left and right tank. Okay, let's switch into VR because I've got my VR headset on. Hopefully that works. Oh, cool. And I guess I'm just making this up as I go along. I just wanted to find out if I could go live flying. I need to. Okay. Right. Oh, the door's open. Shut the door, G. Sorry, sir. Hang on. Bear with me. It's coming back. Hopefully. I need to pull this door. There we go. That's better. I need to get back into VR. I'm not sure if the VR's working. Like I said, I've never ever done a successful live before actually flying because it's always not worked. VR. Oh, that's working. I think that's working. Pretty sure it is working. Yes. Okay. This is the one. This is the controller. You know, you can point at things with this, but I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna put that somewhere out the way. Right. So we'd talk to the control tower over there and we'd ask them for permission and all that, but we've there's nobody else. It's only me. It's only Flight Simulator. So runway's back over here somewhere, and we've got the wind coming off the mountains onto the sea today here in Santa Barbara. So we got to taxi all the way to the other end of the runway. A lot of expense in flying is when the engine's running. You're paying for it by the hour while the engine's running, and that includes when you're on the ground. So it gets very expensive indeed. And when you're talking to the control tower, they give you clearance to move to holding point. See these things on the side? That's a 2507M. This is holding point Mike. holding point M, and this is for runway 2507. So we have to wait until we're given permission to cross the active, well, if that is the active runway. So we get permission to cross over. So this is one of the runways, but this is not the interwind runway. Okay, so we're crossing over that now. We're going down the taxiway. Try and follow the yellow line, keep the wheel on the nose wheel on the yellow line, I should say. And we should go all the way down to the end, I think. I'm not familiar with Santa Barbara Airport. I've never been here before. I only landed here this morning. I did a flight from Mammoth down to Santa Barbara, so it will be interesting. And I've never flown around Los Angeles because my old computer was far too slow and there was too much scenery and it just crashed. I mean, not the aeroplane, the computer crashed. It just couldn't keep up with all the scenery. There's a nice radar there. Look. So there's another holding point. So we might have been cleared to this holding point. Okay. 15 right and 33 left. Okay. So once we've been given clearance, we can taxi to the end of this runway, and then we're going to turn around because the wind is blowing from behind me now. So we need to take off and land into wind. That is very important. This is not going out on Fiona's channel, by the way. This is only going out on my channel. And if it works, I'll do it on my flight sim channel. I've got a flight sim channel just for people that are into flight sim. Not everyone is into it, but you know, it's really good because this is in VR. This is tremendously good. It really is, and I'm sure that wasn't the route to get to this runway, but here we are. We are here. We're here. So we do magneto checks and check our magnetos and things. But we're just going to go, okay? Save time. Try and keep it straight with my feet until we reach flying speed. We've got to check the engine temperatures and pressures and things and make sure everything's okay. We're airborne. Look at that. Isn't that cool? We didn't take off with any flaps there. So we're going to climb. We've got our altimeter there. We're going to climb 100 feet, coming up to 200 feet. That's Santa Barbara, apparently. And so we'll go down the coast. I mean, this is such busy airspace, you know. Because I've never flown here before. So I don't know any of the rules for this area. Who to talk to. Just flying the plane. There's an island out there. So we're going full chat. I'm going to take it up to about 1,500 feet. Now we'll be visiting all these islands. There's Catalina Island out there somewhere. Is that it? Not familiar with Los Angeles, Santa Barbara, that sort of area. There's 1,100 feet. And these airplanes are really slow. But you know, this is what I did a lot of flying in these aircraft. And in VR, it looks just like this. Amazing. So I'm going to land now. It's a really quick flight, and then I'll play it back and see how well or not it turned out. So we throttle the engine right back. It's a really basic aeroplane, this really basic training aeroplane. But they're really good airplanes. They are the best-selling aeroplane ever, Cessna 172. They built more of these and sold more of these than any other aeroplane because they're easy to fly, they're very safe, and they're very reliable. So that's a lot of good reasons, isn't it, to keep it there. Okay, let's have some flaps. Flaps are those things that come down on the wings. Look. 2 stages of there. Can't see any other aeroplanes coming into land, so I'm going to claim that runway for myself. And then we're going to park it back where we started from. And if that was a success, I can look at doing other things, other more interesting flights. But I've never, ever successfully managed to do live while flying. Okay, you've got 60 knots, just under 60 knots, coming nice and steep. If the engine fails, you want to be able to get it back on the runway. Don't say engine failure. So 60 knots all the way in. That's good. The wind is coming off the mountain, so we're into wind. See, we'd struggle landing in it with a crosswind. It's quite a strong crosswind, apparently. So we're still doing 60 knots, still doing 60 knots. We're on 3-3 left. And the trick to landing is not to touch down. It's raise the nose just before you touch down. See that noise? That was the stall warner. So you want to stall the aircraft onto the ground. You don't actually want to fly it into the ground. You flare, and then you fly it along the runway really, really low as you can without touching down. And as your speed decays, the stall warner will come on and it will stall. And it will just drop the last few inches onto the ground. And then you get a nice smooth landing. And that's how it's done. And unfortunately, not all landings work out like that. If you go in too fast, you will bounce, and then everyone will laugh at you from the flying club bar. And you'll have to buy everyone around. And they go, "Get down, bouncer! G'day, bouncer!" Remember that, neighbours? I had a dog called Bouncer, and that was one of the standing jokes. So you really didn't want to bounce. You had a big red face of you because you know they've seen you. You pull off all these amazing, really cool landings, and nobody says a word. Nobody. But the one day that you mess up and bounce, especially if you bounce about 3 times, or a gust catches you and you bounce, they're all laughing in the bar. Okay, so we carry on. And we'll park up exactly back where we started, and then I will hope that this live came out okay. And then I can bore you all the more with more. No, I'll do it on my my other channel, my flying channel. I just wanted to see if this works. And I will take requests as well. If you want me to fly near your house, anywhere you want in the world, we've got world database with this is X-Plane 11. It doesn't fly very well in VR with X-Plane 12, unfortunately, but I've got default scenery for the whole world, and like I say, I'm in Santa Barbara at the moment, and this is where we started. I'll do park it there. That's great. Where's my wandy thing? There it is. You can put the handbrake on. Come on, handbrake. Handbrake. Doesn't work in VR. Okay, what I'll do is I'll come out of VR and I'll go into normal mouse control. There we are. So first we need to put the handbrake on, which is that. It's like an old Brolly handbrake from a. Remember those cars in the 1960s that had those Brolly handbrakes? Yeah, that's it. Okay, avionics master switch goes off. That turns the radios off because if you get a surge of power, you know, when you turn the engine off, it might damage those, and they're really expensive. So how we turn the engine off? Well, this is how we're trained to do it in the UK. We pull that red knob there, and that starves the engine of fuel, and then we can turn the master switch off and turn the key off. You don't turn the engine off by the key, okay, like you do with your car. I've heard some Americans say that that's how they turn them off all the time. It will work, but we're trained in the UK to pull that red knob and starve the engine of fuel in order to turn the engine off. So we just do as we're told in the book, and that's it. We can now jump out. And it's always worth looking back at the aircraft, making sure we haven't forgotten anything. like lights and things. Sometimes, I've walked away from an airplane, looked back at it, and the lights have still been on. And I thought, oh shit, I forgot to turn the light off or something. So it's always worth looking back. Okay, well, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me in Santa Barbara for this VR flight, and I hope it worked out. So I'll have to hit stop sharing now, and then I'll end the live stream. Thank you very much.